Thank you all for joining. And I'm going to share my screen. Um, I think this is going to take a few minutes because it's probably going to kick me out because it's asking me to quit and reopen. So I'll have to reopen. All right. Hold on, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us in the boarding area for 803 service to Haneda, we do apologize. The operation told us to stop boarding while they're fixing a seat in first class. So I will give you an update as soon as they give us an update. I do apologize for this inconvenience. Thank you.
Okay. Looks like I'm back online. Can you all see and hear me?
Yes.
And you, okay, that's great. And you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to get started. Today's topic, today we're going to talk about how to make extra money to invest in the stock market. And the reason why we are covering this topic, first of all, everybody always wants to learn how to make money. It's such a positive thing in the midst of everything happening around us and in the media. Um, okay. And secondly, a lot of people are always like, I don't earn enough money. Um, is that sound coming from your side, Tayo?
What side?
Sound. There's like an
Which
extra
one?
sound. Oh,
I can
okay.
mute myself. I mute myself.
Okay. All right. So, everybody's always like, "Oh, I'm not earning enough money. How do you guys even get money to invest in the stock market? I need to like have more money to invest." So, we feel like this is a really good topic to tackle, because everybody has something that God has deposited in our lives that we can use to make money. So we're going to be diving into all of the extra ways that we can make side income money, that side income in order to use that income to build wealth and invest in the stock market. So, um, okay, so I'll be showing you practical and proven ways to generate additional income. Whether you want to be side hustling or freelancing, or you want something completely passive. I'm going to be covering all of them in this video. And just a short introduction to myself in case, I know almost everybody on this call knows me, but just in case, since I started, if somebody else has joined that doesn't know me, my name is Temi, and about 14 years ago, almost 15 years now, I came to the United States. And when I came to this country, I had only $100 in my purse. That was all the money I had in the world. Um, I came with Excellence, who was 8 months old at that time. My husband was here with my brother. They were studying for their MBA in a private university, which is another story for another day. We didn't have much money. We didn't have anything whatsoever. So when I came here, it was a necessity for me to be able to support my husband. And that was what threw me into the world of freelancing and side hustling. It was a world that I didn't even plan for. I just got thrown into it accidentally. And I'm really grateful that that period and that season of our lives happened, because all of the skills I gained during that time, they are really still useful for me up to this day. So, um, the thing that I want you all to understand as we go into all of these slides and everything I'll be explaining is you need money to build wealth. A lot of people will preach budgeting. A lot of people will preach like being really strict with your money. And those things are really good and financially sound. But if you don't have a lot of money, you can't budget your way to $1 million. You can't budget your way to $100,000 if you are just not making enough money to even like have enough left over, like you're living from paycheck to paycheck, you're so focused on paying the bills and paying the mortgage and doing all of these things, there's no way you'll be in a good frame of mind to be investing. And yes, you can invest as little as you have, like we always preach, but the thing is, at some point you're going to need to like start to make extra income. So the old way of retirement is people will tell you, hey, when you get your first job out of college, invest in a 401k or a 403b or whatever your company is providing, max it out. And then by the time you turn like 59 or 60 or 62 or whatever the cutoff age is for you to be able to access your 401k, that money would have grown. Now, that's a good way to save money. That's a good introductory beginner way to start saving money and start building wealth. But the thing is, nobody is guaranteed tomorrow, right? You don't know. We've seen cases of people that, they will save up all their lives. They will be prudent, they will be financially disciplined, only for them to not live long enough to enjoy that wealth. So we want to start to build wealth. We want to start to make enough money to live a good life, as we are navigating life, we're navigating the ups and downs of life. All right. The new way to build money is to create multiple streams of income. If you have a good job, it's great, if you have a job that pays you, but you can't depend on one stream of income anymore. It's things are so unstable these days. It's just way too risky to only have one income stream. So in today's day and age, we are side hustling, we are creating multiple income streams. All right. So we're getting to the meat of things. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I will check the comment section when we are done. So to start creating multiple income streams, you can either think of starting a business by yourself or buying a business. I'm going to focus a lot on the first one, the one in the blue circle, which is starting a business, which is something that I've done, that I have a lot of, I would say I have a lot of authority to speak on. But at the end, I threw in a slide that would also help you if you are in the camp of people that want to buy a business. And I have resources that can still help you. All right, so let's dive into starting a business. There are different kinds of businesses that you can start, but I've grouped them into four broad categories, which are service-based businesses, digital products businesses, e-commerce businesses, and content creation. You'll see that there's a star on content creation. The reason why I put a star is this can go in different ways. You can use content creation to market the first three that I mentioned in the first three boxes. Or content creation can be a side business, a completely different business on its own. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But in this day and age, honestly, if you really want to establish if you want a successful business, you're going to be creating some sort of content or the other. So the first one I'm going to talk about will be service-based businesses. Why am I talking about service-based businesses first? Because it's the easiest. It's the easiest way to start a side hustle. Whether you are just getting out of college, whether you've started working in corporate, whatever stage of life that you are, there's some sort of expertise that you have that you can teach others. And I'm using expertise very, very loosely here because you really don't have to be an expert for you to teach something. In fact, the way it works is you can just know a little bit of something. Once you know a little bit of something, you are like one step ahead of another person and you can teach those people behind you. That's all. You don't have to be a professor. You don't have to have a PhD. Kudos to all of the people that have PhDs in the house. But when it comes to service-based businesses, you can generate extra income with freelancing, consulting, coaching, any kind of way you want to do it. It doesn't even have to be a full-blown business when you are first starting out. Along the line, when you start making money, you obviously will want to establish a business entity. But when you are first starting out, you can start freelancing on a 1099. So I want to talk about four steps to starting a profitable service-based business. Um, Basically, you are leveraging something, whether it's a skill that you already have, whether it's a skill that you went to school for, or your experience or your interests. It doesn't even have to be something you went to school for. It could be something that just comes naturally to you. It could be something that people are always complimenting you on. Maybe people are always complimenting you on your sense of dressing, for example. You can start a fashion-based business. If people are always complimenting you on your interior decor, you can start an interior design business. I think you might need a certificate to do that, but you get the point I'm trying to make. So the questions that you have to ask yourself is, number one, what do people ask you for help with? Number two, what skills do you use in your current job or your hobbies that others might pay for? I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm a UX designer. As a UX designer, I have a bunch of cross-sectional skills. One of those skills is user interface design, which translates well to website design, right? So I have a web design business. Not only do I offer my services as a web designer, I also sell website templates. In fact, if I jump to these other, oh yeah, this is not the right one. Okay, so I also sell website templates, right? So identify the skills that you have. You can take a sheet of paper after this call, or whenever you are ready to start your service-based business, and list all of the things that you think you are good at and pick one of them. You can kind of, piggyback on that and use it to start. So like, what problems can you solve for a business? People have problems and they're always looking for somebody to pay them to solve it. Trust me, the kinds of things that people pay for, it's ridiculous. You will be surprised. I found a business of somebody that was teaching some people how to get their babies to sleep at night. Literally, it's a multi-million dollar business. Maybe not a multi-million dollar business, but it's a very profitable business. Somebody created a business on lending people um wedding gowns and bridesmaids dresses. That brand, I believe, is called Runaway Bride or something like that. So many different things, so many weird ideas that you'll be surprised that people will pay you for. All right. The second one is, once you identify a skill that you want to sell, or that you want to a skill or a service that you want to offer, you have to start out to attract the right clients. You have to define the kind of clients that you want to work with. Do you want to work with moms that are looking to lose their baby weight? Maybe they just had babies and they don't feel like the way they used to feel before. And you've been there. Maybe you've had a child and you'll be able to lose the weight. So like, identify your ideal client and what you are offering them. Also, you need to build some sort of online presence. Don't be the best kept secret in your world. You have to be found. I'm going to talk a little bit more about building an online presence when we get to the content creation side. You need social proof, which also like kind of ties to be having an online presence. Also, social proof can be in form of testimonials. So when you are starting out, maybe you do your service, you render your service for free to 2 or 3 people and ask them in exchange for feedback and testimonials. Also, like outreach and networking, you can go into Facebook groups. I've literally gotten clients from Facebook groups multiple times before when I was freelancing. So all of these things will help you. The third one is streamlined systems. Once you start getting clients, you will need to set up some sort of system for you to work with your clients. There's got to be a way for them to contact you, whether it's a contact form on your website. There's got to be a way for you to onboard them, to give them contracts, to give them invoices. All of this, you have to find a way to streamline so you don't burn out really quickly. The fourth one is to build a sustainable income. The way you price your services is going to matter a lot whether you last in the service-based industry, because if you are charging too low, you're going to like start to resent your clients, resent everything you are doing, and just not be in a good headspace. So pricing is something that is not fixed. It's not a zero-sum game. It's something that you try different levels of pricing. Some people charge by the hour, while some people charge by project. For example, my web design business, I don't charge by the hour. I just say, you need a website. How many pages do you need? Here's what you're going to pay me. If it's a good fit for them, they agree, they pay me. If it's not a good fit, they go find somebody else. So, also different pricing packages. You can have like 3 different pricing packages at 3 different pricing points. There's a whole psychological research behind this. If you give people 3 things, in order for them not to miss out, they'll probably go with the middle one. So next one we're going to talk about in terms of starting a business is digital products businesses. And I really love this because it's once you've offered your services, you get to the point where you start to notice patterns. You get to the point where people start to ask you for the same thing over and over and over again. For example, as a web designer, I know that my ideal clients sometimes just want to do it by themselves because they don't want to pay for the cost of a custom website. They want a template that is already pre-designed that they can just plug and play. Sometimes my clients ask for social media templates, Instagram templates, all of those things. So eventually you get to the point where you'll be able to start creating products, digital products for them. The beauty of digital products is you create once and you sell all over again. Like once you create it one time, you can sell it all, over and over again. As opposed to a service-based business that is tied to your time. A digital product-based business, if you do it well, shouldn't be tied to your time. And we're going to dive into it a little bit more. So there are 2 ways you can create a digital products business. You either sit down and brainstorm and create your own product, or you sell it done for you digital products. In the world of freelancing and online businesses, there's something we call master resale rights and private label rights. Master resale rights means somebody somewhere sat down and created something. It could be a course, it could be a digital product, it could be an ebook. They are giving you the right to go and resell that product for a significant portion of the money that they are sending you. So I'll give you an example. Somebody can sit down and create a course, for example. You buy the course from them. If the course comes with a master resale rights, legal license, that means you can resell that course over and over and over again. But you cannot alter anything in the course. There's a preset price that person will give you. So I created a course on maybe like branding and web design for small businesses, and I'm selling it for $500. If I attach a master resale rights legal license to it, anybody that buys from me can resell that course. And I will be the one to tell them, you cannot sell this course for less than $500. So you have to abide by the rules that come with the license. For private label rights, it means almost the same thing as MRR. The only thing legally different is that you can alter a private label rights product and make it look like your own. So if somebody sells you a PLR product, they already created that product. You can sell it at any price point you want, and you can alter some things in there to make it look like you actually created that product. So those are the ways that you can go about, establishing a digital product business. I have a website where I sell MRR and digital products. It's called iincome.com that you are seeing on my screen. If you click on this button that says OMG, I need this, you will see this bundle where I have all sorts of ebooks and reels and videos and images that you can resell. Mine comes with both a PLR and an MRR license. So if you decide to resell without altering it, that's fine. If you decide to resell by altering it and changing the content a little bit, that's also fine. Just wanted to do a shameless plug there. All right. So whichever way you decide to go about doing your digital products business, I'm going to talk about 5 steps that will ensure that you are successful. The first one is to choose a profitable product idea. You don't want to just randomly choose something just because you like it. Trust me, you will be disappointed. You want a product that is in high demand with an audience that is already there, ready to buy, and a product that is evergreen. You don't want to just do something trendy. I mean, some people sell trendy things, but just know that for a period of time, that thing is going to be trendy and that thing is going to be profitable, and then it will go away. You won't be able to sell it again, or nobody will be interested anymore. So you want to ideally go for something evergreen. So at the center of all these circles is where your sweet spot is. You find a high demand product, you find a product that there's an audience that is willing to pay for it, and you find a product that is evergreen. In between that is where you find a profitable digital product. So you do your own research. There's a whole ton of things that you can use to research these days. There is AI. If you've heard about ChatGPT, you know that ChatGPT can literally do like 80% of the work for you when it comes to research and creating digital products and stuff. Number 2, create high quality digital products. You don't want something. A lot of people, I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I'm kind of ashamed to say that, but I do spend a lot of time on TikTok. And one thing you will find in the digital product community is it's now saturated with products that are made with AI. You want to avoid that. Even if you use AI to help, to ease the burden or to make it fast, you want to be sure that you are editing whatever AI spits out to you. You don't want to just push products into the market that is not high quality. Because what happens is, even if somebody buys today and they see that it's low quality, they are going to talk about it on social media. They're going to talk about it to their friends. They're going to leave bad reviews, and your reputation will be on the line. Once you are ready to start creating products, you can use tools like Canva. Canva is what I use to create this presentation that you guys are looking at. It's so beautiful. It's so easy to learn. If you are a little bit advanced in graphic design, you can use Adobe products like InDesign. You can record online courses with Loom. This is Loom right here. I have it. I have this. So this is Loom. I have Loom. You can use Teachable too. So I've listed all of these things, and I will give you guys a copy of this presentation in case you want to access it after the call. So these are some of the things that will help you. Number 3, set up a selling platform. You've identified your product. You've created your product. You need a way to actually sell and deliver that product when people pay for it. So I've listed some of the places where you can sell. There's Gumroad, there's Standstore, Beacon, StriveCard. All of these places are very similar. The software behind them is very similar, except that Gumroad, for example, will not charge you up front. They will charge a percentage of your sales when you make a sale. Whereas Standstore and Beacons, you will pay a monthly, there's a monthly payment attached to it. Thrive Cards, when I bought Thrive Cards, because I personally use Thrive Cards for my online business, I just made a lifetime payment of, I think it was around $500 or $600, and I can use it for life without having to pay Thrive Card anything from my profit. So look into all of these platforms that you can use to sell your digital products and pick anyone that, that works for you. Etsy is another example of, a marketplace where you can sell your online product. Your digital product. People choose a place like Etsy because it already has a built-in traffic. So if you are looking for a platform that already has people going there for a particular thing, Etsy will be a good choice for you. Now, the last one is to market and sell your digital product. Trust me, your product is not going to sell itself. You have to get on social media. You have to start building an email list. You have to partner with people. And you don't have to do all of the things listed on this slide at the same time. Look for things that work for you. For the longest time, I resisted social media, but I can tell you that if you can, if you can put your fear of talking into a camera aside, social media can be a very, very powerful tool. Another one is Pinterest. Pinterest is also very much like social media, but it works a little bit differently. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which means that your website is being found on Google when people are searching for that thing that you are selling. I don't want to go too much into this. All of these things that I'm mentioning, they can be a course on their own. So if you want to dive deeper, you can go to like YouTube or something and you will find videos that will dive deeper into these topics. And then the last one, so I thought that was the last one. The last one is actually scale. Once you start to get sales, once people start to buy your stuff, you can look for a way to make even more money. For example, you can bundle products together. I'm going to give you a very good example of for myself. So if I'm selling website templates, right? And they need social media templates and they need brand boards or logos or something. I can bundle all of this together as a brand kit. So for example, you get a brand kit at a slightly cheaper price than you pay when you buy all of these things separately. And then another way to scale is to create a membership. So people pay you from month to month and you give them something fresh in return. You can sell on multiple platforms instead of one, and you can run paid advertisements to your product. Now, I wouldn't advise paid advertisement unless you have gotten to the point where you are making good money, because paid advertisements can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. And I threw a slide on like so many digital product examples that you guys can create. Now, let's talk about the third thing, which is e-commerce businesses. This, I'm going to be honest, is my least favorite. Some people thrive with it, but I'm not just the kind of person that likes e-commerce businesses. With e-commerce businesses, we're talking of selling physical, tangible goods, right? This is my home office, and this is an example of a candle. I love my home office to smell good, right? Somebody sells this candle. That's a physical product. So for e-commerce businesses, you have to have something physical, unlike a digital product that they're downloading onto their computer. For a physical product, you have to have something physical in exchange for money. And we're going to dive deep into different ways that you can, if this is a model that you like, that works for you, I'm going to dive into different ways that you can make it profitable. The first one is to choose a profitable niche and business model. And there are different ways that you can go about creating an e-commerce business. Now, there's there's print on demand, there's drop shipping, there's handmade, and there's traditional e-com. I'm going to dive into all of this. But what makes for a good product in an e-commerce business? It's got to have high demand. It's got to have profitability. It's got to have something that you are either passionate about and you are willing to learn about, or something that you already have an existing knowledge about. Now, if you want to research high demand products, go to TikTok. If you have TikTok, go to the search bar of TikTok and type something like TikTok made me buy it. You will see all sorts of ridiculous things that people are buying, and you will get ideas for e-commerce business models. Now, let's talk about the model. If you go for print on demand, this has become very, very popular in the past few years because of its convenience. What it simply means is that somebody is a middleman between you and the person buying. So if you go to a website like Printful or Printify, you are telling them, I want to be selling t-shirts, but I don't want to go through the process of finding a manufacturer by myself. So Printify will tell you, we're going to manufacture this t-shirt for you. You tell us how much, this is how much you are selling it. So we can sell these t-shirts for you for $15. You tell us how much you want to be selling it. So I can go to Printify and be like, I want this t-shirt. I'll be selling it for $20, but you guys will charge me $15. So I'm making like about $5 on top of it. So there'll be the middleman, they'll do the manufacturing for you. In fact, you can even upload your own design. They'll put your design on the t-shirt. It's not just t-shirts, mugs, all sorts of things. You'll find it on their website. So that's a model that you can use. Another one is drop shipping, which is very similar to print on demand. But drop shipping is more like common for Chinese companies like Alibaba, AliExpress. So you have a manufacturer there, a Chinese manufacturer, they put your logo on it. They're the ones actually designing, printing, and manufacturing and shipping to your end client. They put your logo on it, but when your end client receives it, they think it's actually you, like Temi Designs, but it's actually a company in China doing the shipping and everything, shipping to them. The other model is handmade. This one, you're actually the one making the product by yourself in the comfort of your home. Maybe like somebody that can make earrings or antique products or something, and you're selling it by yourself. And then there's traditional e-commerce, which is you have a physical store, like maybe like a place, a physical place where your goods and services are being kept, and then you have like an online store, you do the shipping by yourself and all of those things. One very important thing that you should keep in mind if you are doing an e-commerce business, or if you want to choose an e-commerce business, is that be very mindful of your profit margins, because by the time you pay the manufacturer, you pay for shipping, you pay for this, you pay for that, you can end up with razor thin margins. And that's one of the reasons why this is not my favorite business model. The second one is to manufacture your product. I've listed all of the ways that you can go about manufacturing your product, whether you are doing it by yourself or you are finding somebody in China, or you are going to a website like Printify that will do the manufacturing for you. So you just got to find something that works for you. The third one is to set up an online store. Just like a digital product, you are going to need an online store to sell your product. So you can choose e-commerce platforms like Shopify. I currently just migrated my website templates to Shopify. There's one called WooCommerce. If you are very familiar with WordPress, WooCommerce is like a plugin for WordPress website. There's another platform called Wix. They also have e-commerce capabilities. If you want to sell on marketplace platforms like Etsy, I mentioned Etsy before because Etsy has Etsy, Amazon, eBay. All of those marketplaces have an existing traffic. You can also just attach whatever model that you are doing. So for example, the Printify I mentioned integrates well with Etsy. So you can integrate your Printify store with Etsy and sell your products there. The next one is setting up payment and shipping. Depending on what you are using. So for example, if you are using Shopify, they will ask you, do you want us to handle payments for you? If you want them to handle payments, they will usually take a percentage of your sales. Sometimes they will ask, if you don't want to use Shopify, you can create a Stripe account or PayPal account. I do not recommend PayPal. I've used PayPal before, and what they do is they find a stupid reason to not pay you if you're a business. For 6 months, 8 months, they can seize your money for just no reason at all. So I don't recommend PayPal. Also, you have to think about shipping. If you're not using a model like drop shipping, that means you'll be shipping by yourself. So you have to like partner with UPS or FedEx or any of those shipping companies in order to like get a good rate that you'll be shipping to your customers. You also have to think about the location that you are, if you are going to be shipping locally or if you are going to be shipping worldwide. So these are some of the things that you have to think about in an e-commerce business. The next one is to drive traffic to your store. People have to know what you are selling, whether you are going to do it by social media or by email marketing. I talked a little bit about search engine optimization. You can blog about your product. You can decide to advertise your product with paid ads, and you can decide to partner with influencers that have large followings to help you sell your products. And last but not the least, for e-commerce businesses is to optimize, scale. For every single business, you want to always be thinking about scaling. And the way I'm checking time on my phone. Okay, so and the way to scale is to make sure that you are selling more and you are making more money. So like you can upsell, you can downsell, you can cross sell, you can bundle things together. You can use email marketing to give people discounts. So Etsy does this a lot. If you have a shop on Etsy, they'll be like, do you want to give somebody that buys like three things in your shop, do you want to give them like 20% off and things like that? So also you want to automate and outsource. If you get to the point where you're making a lot of sales, you're making a lot of money and it's getting overwhelming, it's time to outsource. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about for starting a business is content creation. This is like a game changer, guys. I know that a lot of us that come from Africa, we're not used to these new ways of making money online. But I tell you, those kids are making a ton of money doing content creation. They are making a killing. So if this is something that you either want to choose as a side business or you want to choose it to market another kind of business that you already have, either way, you can't go wrong with content creation. I recently started a TikTok account. I don't even post every day because I have other things going on in my life. But in the past like 2 months, I've almost hit 300 followers on TikTok. I can imagine people that are younger than me or people that don't have as many responsibilities that post very, very frequently. And the more followers you have, ideally, the more money you make. So if you're thinking of content creation, you can either be creating short form content, which is like short, sweet, straightforward content that you'll find on like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts. Usually, they go up to like 60 seconds on YouTube Shorts. But on TikTok, I know that TikTok has extended it to be up to like 10 minutes. So you have to kind of like try different times, so like different things and see what works for you. You can also choose long form content. Blogs have been in existence for the longest time, but now we have YouTube. Everybody is on YouTube. Ivorian LLC is also on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, you really should, because we post very educational content that the one you are listening to right now. Podcast is another long form content, which in my opinion, you shouldn't start a podcast unless you have already established a brand online. Like unless you already have a lot of people following you, you may find it a little bit difficult to monetize a podcast or even get people to listen to it. Now, how do you make money with content creation? It's low cost, it's high reward. If you love talking like me and you just plug yourself in front of a camera and just talk and edit, you will find that it's a very interesting way of making money online. I'm not gonna lie. And these are the ways that you can use content to make money. The platforms that you are posting to actually pay. So for example, there's something called creator fund program or something like that on TikTok. I'm not on it because I don't have up to 10,000 followers yet. But for people that have up to 10,000 followers, they will pay you for, every view. The views, like, so for example, they call something oh, I lost the name of that thing, but it just means how many people watch your content. Like the first 1,000 people that watch your content and watch everything, you get paid for that. So imagine if you have a video that goes viral, you can make a few hundred of dollars per video if your video goes viral every now and then. Second one is sponsorships and brand deals. And this one is very common for people that have large followings, because brands and companies alike, they are thinking that if you have a large follower and we want to reach your followers, we will pay you to post about our business or our products. And in return, we will pay you, a certain amount of money. Another one is affiliate marketing, which means you are promoting something and getting a commission on top of it. So an example is this microphone that I'm using, for example. I can sign up as an affiliate for this microphone and talk about it on my platform, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or something. The company that makes this microphone will give me a special link that if somebody clicks that link and buys through my link, I get like maybe 30%, 20%, 10% of whatever sale that link makes. And then you can also use your platform if you are creating content to offer freelance services. So it ties back to everything I've talked about since the beginning of, this webinar. Content creation just ties into everything. You are either making money through the first four, or you are using content creation to make money to support another business. I hope that makes sense. Now, everything I've talked about for like almost 45 minutes so far has been on starting a business. Now I'm going to talk about buying a business, which I don't consider myself an expert in buying a business. I've been studying um about buying businesses and the psychology behind it. I've been trying to do it for the past 2 or 3 years, but recently I sat down and I was honest with myself that I'm not the kind of person that wants to buy a business. I don't even want to be a CEO. I just want to be a one-person business. But I'm going to give you this resource, which this person is called Cody Sanchez. So if you are somebody that is interested in buying a business, you should follow her everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. She's everywhere and she's pretty dang good. She's pretty amazing. She will teach you about boring businesses that just never fail. She's bought businesses of up to $15 million. So she really knows what she's talking about. I put a link here um for if you guys are interested, it will link you to this page where you can put your email address and download a list of 130 plus attractive boring businesses. So that brings me to the end of this presentation. Before I open it up for questions, I just want to remind you once again that one income stream is too close to none. Trust me, in less than 2 years, I've been laid off twice from big companies that you would think they have job security. The second one is even a bank. Banks are like a bank is like a place that you want to work for the rest of your life because you think they have job security. But I still got laid off. So having a job doesn't guarantee anything anymore. And one income stream is too close to none. And I'm going to leave us with this Bible passage, these verses, Ecclesiastes 11:2-6. We use the NASB version in my church. Verse 2 is what I want to focus on, which says, divide your portion to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on the earth. So please, everything I've discussed on this call, watch it over and over again. We will record that like we always do. Choose something that you can start by the side. Even if it's not even a lot of money, see, $200 can pay your light bill. If you only make $200 extra, aside from your paycheck every month, it can pay your gas bill, it can pay your light bill. So that's what I'm leaving you with today. And that takes me to the end of my presentation. Thank you all. I'm going to stop sharing and you guys can ask me questions. Evelyn, I see your hand up.
Yes, well, thank you. And that was amazing. Like, that was such a comprehensive and presentation. I just want to add, like, I guess for people who don't want their face, because that was something I was really concerned about, is like, privacy, especially like being a physician and having like, sorry, I mean, like, I'm outside, so it's really loud, but yeah, like, sometimes I'm concerned about like, having my face be out there, and then, there's like, ethics and all of that. So one thing you can actually have like they call it like AI influencer, but essentially you can sort of create like an AI spokesperson. So people will think that, it's a human being that's, talking to them, but it's all AI. It's not your face, it's not your name. Some people wear masks and things like that, but I just thought, like, that's another thing. And then for the affiliate stuff, if you don't want, like, you don't you don't even have to create content to sell. What some people do is they literally just create commercial. Like, you have some people who do like maybe like 5-10 second videos, and it's AI or sometimes them, and they'll just hold the product, and then you can still have like the link from Amazon or wherever, put it under, your post or whatever. And then, you can make money from that. So you don't even have to, go through the trouble of like, oh, I bought this and I tried it. Yeah, the pros and cons, And some people use AI too. And right now AI is so good that it looks real, and there are free um apps and like software, like literally free. That to use that. It's just that, oh man, I just wish I had time. Sometimes I'm just like hating this is just a made in my life. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, this is an exciting time. Like there's just so many ideas. Thank you so much, man. Like that was really good. I just wanted to add that, like, for people who don't want their face out there,
Yeah.
you can use AI to do the same thing.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Evelyn, for adding that. Yes, let me tell you, it's a good time to be alive. Like Evelyn said, it's such an exciting time. We have no excuse for not being able to make extra money other than what you're making with your your normal job. And if you guys want me to come back, she actually mentioned something which is very exciting, which is faceless marketing. What she mentioned about privacy and not wanting to show your face. It's amazing. I literally just started an account on TikTok for faceless content marketing. If you guys want me to come back for another session on how you can do it, everything you need, including all the AI tools, I will be happy to come back and lead another session on that. But that was amazing. So yeah, thank you, Evelyn. I put the link on the chat to my presentation. If you guys want a PDF version, you can let me know. I will be happy to give you a PDF version. But any other questions? Yeah, bro,
Share
innocent.
one that for like people who don't have who have maybe like 1 hour tops a day or something like that, or like who don't have a lot of time.
You mean like how you can go about it?
And like even like like editing videos. So I started a YouTube channels and I was like doing like just music, like music for kids to go to sleep, lullabies.
Yeah,
Um, I noticed like those ones they get a lot of views, like millions of views, and they're like 10 hours, 11 hours. So like it's really easy to get monetized very quickly,
yeah,
but it still takes time,
yeah. It
a lot
does
of time.
take time. Yeah. I think if you don't have a lot of time, like you, Evelyn, you have a baby. If you don't have a lot of time, I think you have to make peace with the fact that you can spend a little bit of money to outsource. You know, this is why I left my YouTube channel for now, because if it comes easy to me to edit short form videos like TikTok videos, I can do that by myself. But long videos for YouTube, it's just so difficult for me. So, and I've made peace with the fact that once I get to a certain point in my business, I'll pay somebody to do it for me. So I think you have to get to a point where you're like, okay, this thing is gonna make me money, so I can spend a little bit of money too. So yeah. All right. Let us close in prayer like we always do. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this gathering. We thank you for all of our friends and family members on the call. We exalt your holy name. We bless you, Lord. And we pray that everything we do this weekend shall prosper in the name of Jesus. We pray that the next time we meet next month, we will not gather to mourn anybody. We will not gather to cry. We will gather to rejoice and give glory unto your name. For in Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you and have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
All right. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you. Yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.
So-